there's a couple of requirements you need. Number one, every Friday, how are you doing? Been a while. Oh, good. Every Friday evening you need to come to, especially devotion time. We're also having our first fundraiser, which is April the 23rd, which is Saturday. That's the city cleanup, where we pick up garbage in the morning from 9 to 12. We come here, we eat lunch, then we go back and finish the work, and it averages out anywhere a good amount of money you start off with. So I want to encourage you, if you're interested in going to Puerto Rico as a mission trip, like I said, it's an amazing trip. You will learn so much. You'll experience culture shock. You'll love the rice. Yes? 23rd? What? April? 23rd. Yeah, it's Saturday, right? Yeah. Sure. That sounds good. And if I'm wrong, you'll be on board. You can read it later. You have to come to all of our training events. We have events where we teach you things about the culture. We also have many things that you learn about the Bible. It's an amazing event. And we help you earn the money. So, like I said, if you need a job, we'll help you get a job. Just remember, once you earn your money, you most likely will be fired, but at least you earn your money. Because that's my job. The job is to help you be able to make it so that you can't say, I don't have money. I don't think, Kevin, we have ever said to someone, you can't go because you don't have money. We always help the individual earn it. So like I said, it's a great experience, and I'll tell you right now, out of all the kids that have gone over the years, everyone had an impact. No matter how it is, whether small or big, it's an amazing event that you will not regret, guaranteed. All right, awesome. All right, you know what time of evening it is, right? That's right.
Don't Succeed, the book written by Zach Anner. I am going to be reading it. Oh no, no you can't. You cannot act this out. I know, this is angelic. I was gonna try to find myself like one of those big easy chairs, you know, get a smoking jacket, put on my glasses, have a little, you know, yeah, a cup of brandy and a pipe, but then I realized I couldn't read while drinking brandy and smoking a pipe, because I don't normally smoke a pipe. Vape life. Okay, so here we go. We shall continue. We shall begin. So this is a little taste of what you guys are going to get on April 22nd when Zach is here, except he's actually going to be telling you some of these stories. Okay, so my stomach had been a beast since high school. I couldn't tame or reason with it, and it would unmercifully wreak havoc without warning. No matter how kind and careful I tried to be to my digestive tract, its mood swings were violently erratic. I was living with my own private Grendel in Tummy Town, where fruits, vegetables, enchiladas, and ice cream could happily coexist until one misplaced breadcrumb or skittle would summon the beast, and the whole town descended into chaos. With no children to sacrifice and no Beowulf, the most I could do to appease the beast was feed it and sedate it with Imodium. I had just begun to relax, anticipating the big dinner I'd eat back at the hotel with Andrew, when I felt a familiar twinge in my stomach. The beast was stirring. It was hungry, and I hadn't fed it all day, which made it very, very irritable. I could hear the beast's moaning, like a baby whale that lost its mother, but angrier. If I could just keep it contained, I might be able to chalk up my wincing and nervous sweating to sadness for whichever contestant was on the chopping block. Can the camera tell the difference between compassion and diarrhea? Then the beast moved lower, causing a spasm in my sphincter so alarming that I knew disaster was imminent. The monster was storming the gates and the defenses would not hold. I needed to find a bathroom immediately. Thus began my frenzied dash to the crew bathroom, as Herschel, now essential to the war effort, followed close behind. I couldn't afford a single delay. If I was going to make it, it would be the mother of all close calls. We shuffled past the camera-ready polish of the Oprah Winfrey Network studio set into the back warehouse filled with shelf upon shelf of props and equipment. I could see the bathroom door. I was almost there. My stomach was tense and churning, a volcano ready to erupt and engulf everything in its path. But at least I'd made it. And then the door was locked. I have never felt such despair. Who was in there? I had convinced my stomach and my mind that I would be on a toilet in 30 seconds or less, and just like that, I had to renegotiate the peace treaty between Grendel and Tummytown. In the heat of exasperation, I thought, how could anyone have to go to the bathroom except me? When the bathroom's occupant finally emerged, Herschel trailed in after me as I bolted for the toilet. You need anything? You need anything? He asked with all the earnestness of a squire boy. No! I shouted, and Herschel ran out, closing the door behind him. Finally, the pressure was off. I brought my trembling hands up to unfasten my pants, and taking a deep breath, looked down and realized that my clip-on mic was still live. This meant that everyone on the set and crew could potentially overhear the firestorm that was about to take place. With Dr. Phil still in the building, I couldn't risk him accidentally tuning to my channel and concluding, that doesn't sound like a man who can host his own television show. That sounds like a man who needs medical attention. It was this foolish attempt to save my last shred of dignity that sealed my fate. As I fumbled to get the microphone's battery pack off my belt loop, it happened. The beast came to the surface, breathing fire on my lucky purple underwear. They would never be worn again. I had crapped my pants, and I was only a bathroom door away from doing it on national television. As I frantically found my way to the toilet, I knew that there was no going back. The guy with cerebral palsy, who'd hoped to erase the stigma of helplessness associated with disability, had shit himself on day 2 of shooting. As I was sitting there on the toilet, I had a lot of time to reflect. I remembered how I'd been a slave to my stomach since high school, how I'd missed out on family vacations, friendships, and a normal life because I was afraid of what it would do. And now, at what was the most important and pivotal moment in my 26 years, my stomach had done exactly what I had always feared. Just as I was about to have a total meltdown, I remembered 3 simple words from my friend Andrew. Chew bubble gum. Sitting there on the cold porcelain with my defiled underwear around my ankles, I thought about how I'd tell the story to Andrew, how I'd turn this horrible situation into jokes to make my best friend laugh. It occurred to me that this was, all in all, the most hilariously embarrassing thing that could possibly transpire. And to my shock, I started laughing right there on the toilet. Even if I had to go out there and explain to Dr. Phil that I'd just crapped myself, I was going to do it because it would make for a funnier story. I switched into survival mode and took inventory of the tools I had to clean up this mess. I was more prepared for this moment than any young man possibly should. I had flushable Cottonelle wipes, hand sanitizer, a bottle of water, and a bathroom floor. And as far as I was concerned, that was all I needed. If I could emerge from this stall triumphant, I knew that whatever challenges lay ahead would pale in comparison. This probably sounds strange, but once you've crapped your pants, you really feel like you can accomplish anything. Whatever artificial challenges they put us through for the rest of the reality show, I had just faced my biggest challenge in actual reality, and I had owned it like a boss. I didn't need to win this show because I was already the champion of confidently shitting myself. And how many people can claim that title? The terror that rained down upon Tummytown had, for this day, been conquered. I was free in the way you can only be after you face down your worst fear and live to tell about it. What's that? Uh-huh. That would not have been cool. So yeah, I wanted to read that to you. A lot because I found it terribly funny. But also he makes a bunch of really good points in there. That no matter what kind of situation you have in your life, no matter what kind of predicament you're in, if you can laugh about it and realize that, you know what, just own it. It's really probably not the worst thing that can happen. This guy crapped himself while filming a reality TV show on the Oprah Winfrey Network. with Dr. Phil and Oprah Winfrey and a bunch of big executives all around. And this guy just realized, it is what it is. And so, I'm really looking forward to having him come down. And this is the kind of stuff he's going to be talking about on the 22nd. Just about how his life, being in a wheelchair and all the crap that goes with that, literally and figuratively, and how persevering through it and getting past it and surviving it is all about your attitude and how you perceive the situation. So, just something I wanted to read for you guys this week, and something for you guys to think about for this week. And so now, we will continue on with the evening. Rhonda's going to come up and take it from here.
So I'm not sure how many of you looked on Facebook at what's happening this week, but I'm very excited about doing something a little different. So this week we have Isaac and Jason who are going to be coming up here and speaking. But first I'm going to kind of do a segue into, well, I asked them to talk probably about 3 weeks ago. And since then, God's really been working in my life and bringing new challenges to the life and challenging me in different ways. And so I kind of want to share that with you guys and make that into a segue onto what they're going to be talking about. So, those of you who have Bibles on your phones, or maybe physical Bibles, you guys can go to Matthew 9, verse 9. There's also Bibles over there if you guys want to grab a physical copy. There's such things. I forgot mine, so I brought something there. So this story, it takes off. It's titled The Calling of Matthew. So if you don't know who Matthew is one of the disciples in the Bible, and he actually wrote a book of the Bible. So it's the first book of the Bible. And this talks about Jesus and him calling Matthew into following him and becoming a disciple. So Matthew 9, verse 9 to 12. I'll read through it and then we'll kind of talk about it a bit. As Jesus went on from there, he had just done a bunch of healings. He just healed a paralytic man. As Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. "Follow me," he told him, and Matthew got up and followed him. While Jesus was having dinner at Matthew's house, many tax collectors and sinners came and ate with him and his disciples. When the Pharisees saw this, they asked his disciples, "Why does your teacher eat with tax collectors and sinners?" So, this section of the Bible that I've kind of been reading through Matthew, and this stuck out to me because following Jesus, whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, this passage here talks about reaching people for Jesus, and that we all have a mission, and all you need is a heart for people. And I don't know if you know much about tax collectors, but Jesus coming across Matthew, who was sitting at a tax collector's booth. So tax collectors back then were Jews, but they were working for the Roman Empire. And those two were huge enemies. So a Jew working for Roman Empire would sit at this table and collect taxes for the Roman Empire. However, let's say the Roman Empire is asking for 9 pieces of whatever their currency is. This theologian would be able to tell. I'm sure Justin would know what they would collect back then. 9 pieces of silver, please. And the tax collector would ask for 13. And all the Jews knew, you only need 9, but I have to pay you 13, and I have no choice because otherwise you're going to punish me. And it's your own people who are doing this to you, and they're supposed to be on your side, but they're working for the Roman Empire. So the tax collectors were the bottom of the barrel. Everybody hated them. Nobody liked them. The Pharisees, who are like the religious of the religious. They would know all the rules, they would know the Bible back and forth, and they would dispute anything that you would say about what the Bible would say. They know rules, they know how it's supposed to be when it comes to rules, but they kind of sucked at relationship. And so Jesus is walking, and he sees this tax collector sitting at this table, and he says, "Follow me." Now, there's a lot of you who are here. I don't know all of your personal stories or where you're at, whether you believe in God or don't believe in God, whether you call yourself a Christian or not. But God is saying, get up and follow me. He didn't sit down with Matthew and say, tell me about your life. He didn't say, what are your qualifications? He didn't ask, what have you done for the kingdom of God? What have you done that makes you special and makes you righteous? Tell me about the 10 Commandments and recite the whole book of Exodus for me. All he said was, get up and follow me. Now, Jesus came. I don't know if you guys know much about Jesus' time on earth, but Jesus came for people who are ruined, who are wrecked, who are not perfect. And I find the story of Jesus calling Matthew to be very inspiring to me. And over the past 3 weeks, I would say this is what God's biggest thing has been for me, is that he has said, get off your butt, get off the couch, follow me. Yeah. And it's hard to not sit there and say, but you don't know what I did last night. You don't know what I did last week. You don't know the things that I struggle with. You don't know all the pornography that I'm addicted to and that I've been looking at. You don't know that I'm in a relationship and I can't stop cheating on the person I'm supposed to be in a relationship with. You don't know the drugs that I'm addicted to and what I did last night. You don't know what I did to get the drugs that I needed to do last night. God's saying, I don't care about what you have done, because it's not about what you can do for me. It's acknowledging that there's something missing, and it's about not acknowledging that you're a wreck and that you need Jesus in your life to fix things. And he's saying, get up and follow me. Get up off your butt. Stop being lazy. Stop being complacent. Stop saying, well, that's just who I am. That's just how it's going to be. Because you have a chance for that to all change. There's this saying that I've heard, and I've heard a lot of people use it, or it's not just me, but where it says, I was sweating like a hooker in church. And it's saying that, if a hooker would walk into church and sit down in a pew, that they'd be sweating because they're like, I'm a sinner and I don't deserve to be here and I'm not perfect and I don't fit in with this church, the church mantra of being perfect and having everything together. That is not what the Bunker is about. That's not what any church should be about. We don't want hookers to sweat. We want them to know that it doesn't matter what they've done, what they're caught up in, that all that matters is that you acknowledge, I have crappy things going on in my life, and I'm caught up in these addictions, and I'm caught up in this worldly desire, and I need out. I need help. And Matthew acknowledged that, because here it says, as Jesus went on from there, he saw a man named Matthew sitting at the tax collector's booth. Follow me, he told him. And Matthew got up and followed him. He didn't know what it entailed. He didn't know what Jesus was going to ask him. But obviously, there was something inside of him that was stirring. And I feel like it would be hard not to have that stirring if Jesus was right beside you. But here's the cool thing, is that when Jesus died and rose again and went back to heaven, he says, I have to leave because I'm only one person here. And if I leave, I can send the Holy Spirit, and the Holy Spirit can be with multiple people. We have the Holy Spirit here with us. So when you have that inkling in your chest and you're feeling, oh man, this is kind of touching a nerve, that's the Holy Spirit saying, follow me, follow me. So Jesus is offering you an opportunity to make something of your life, just like Matthew. Matthew was sitting at that tax collector's booth, and Jesus is saying, get up, follow me. You don't have to be the man that sits at that tax collector's booth doing things that you know are wrong, but it's the easy thing to do. Knowing that it's wrong, but it's going to get you ahead in life because you're going to get a lot more money. And Jews were picked on and they had no money. He's saying, you can do something with your life and you can make a difference. Get up, follow me, make a difference. Have a mission. Have a heart for people. Reach people for Jesus. So, yes, Jesus knows everything about you. He knows what you've done. He knows temptations that you're caught up in, sins that you're caught up in. But he says, I still want you. I love you. Easter season's coming up. Some of you might not know the Easter story. Some of you probably have heard it a million times. But each season, it's kind of neat because this is exactly what Jesus came to do in the world. He came and he loved every single person on this earth. And God said, I'm going to send my son to you, and he's going to be crucified and brutally battered and brutally beaten up. And it's going to be by people who claim that they love God. The Jews who are religious, it's the Pharisees, it's the people who have it all together. But it's also, he died for people he knew are going to reject him. So even if you don't believe in God, or you don't love God, or you don't call yourself a Christian, it doesn't change the Easter story. Jesus still came and died for you, brutally. Not like a assisted suicide where you're just like, oh, this is so nice, I'm just going to die now. It was brutal. And he did it for you. Whether you choose to believe in him or love him or not, he still did it for you. So he didn't do it because he knew that you would love him back or that you already loved him. He did it for those who cursed him and hated him. And he says, I don't care, I still love you anyways. So Jesus doesn't care what you have done in your life or what you're caught up in. He says, I still love you, I still want you. Drop that crap, get up off the couch, follow me. So God takes a complete mess and says, follow me. It's the people, he's calling the people who recognize that they need a doctor. He's called the great physician. And it says, I'll talk about it a little bit later. We already read it. But he says, why would I sit around with people who claim that they're righteous and that they know everything, and they don't think they're sick? I think that a lot of Christians in Winkler, and myself included, at times are very guilty of this and saying, I'm perfectly okay on my own, God. I don't need you to ruffle my feathers or challenge me to change my life because, I'm okay because I'm doing better than that person. And he's saying, no. All I need for you to recognize is that you need me, that you're sick and that you cannot heal yourself. That's who he uses. He doesn't, some of you have heard this before, he doesn't call those who are already qualified. He qualifies those who are called, and they follow him. So this is God saying, get up. I'm giving you a shot here. Stop sitting because it feels good and it's comfortable and you're okay with the temptations and the things that you're dealing with. He's saying, get up. It's easy to sit at that tax collector's table and sit in that chair and hold on to dear life, to all the crap in your life, because it's comfortable. It's something that you already know. You know it's bad, but at least you know what to expect. Maybe you've been labeled the black sheep. Maybe you've been labeled all these things, so heck, why not just feed into the label that people are already feeding me? And God's saying, let go. Often we don't let him change us because it's uncomfortable. And often at times it feels like Jesus is trying to destroy us. I hear a lot of people say that Jesus is trying to destroy me, or they're scared to say yes to God because they're afraid of what Jesus is going to tear away from them. But God's not here to destroy you. God's here to destroy what's evil and what's darkness in your life. And he's saying, say yes to me, and it's going to hurt because I'm going to tear this stuff out of you. I'm going to make it feel uncomfortable because you know it's wrong and it needs to come out. You need to change things. And he will destroy that in you. But it's not destroying the good in you. It's destroying the stuff that's holding you back. So be a regular Joe and let God take you on an adventure. When he says, follow me, get up and follow him and see what he does to you. It's the story of overcoming the monster. And the first thing to any plot of overcoming the monster, it's funny, we were talking about Beowulf, but is that first somebody needs the call. And this is your call. This was Matthew's call. And Jesus has a call on each of your life saying, get up, because I'm calling you. I'm saying, follow me. So get up, follow me, and overcome the monster. Overcome the monster in your life. Overcome your addictions. But first you have to say yes to the call. And you don't have to feel like you are qualified to be the hero, because you're not going to be the hero in your life. It's going to be Jesus who's the hero in your life. But answer the call and do something with your life. At the end here it says, on hearing this, Jesus said, it is not the healthy who need a doctor, but the sick. Acknowledge that you're sick. Acknowledge that there's things in your life that need to be changed. Instead of sitting at the table and being comfortable, get up, follow God, and see what kind of adventure he takes you on. Answer the call to overcome the monster. And that's what this whole evening is going to kind of be about. And first we're going to have Jason come up here. And Jason recently got back from India. Yeah, you can come up. You can have this one. I don't know if it's going to screech if I get too close, so. Sure, you can sit there if you want. So we're going to kind of do a Q&A session about his trip to India and what he went. So is it okay if I kind of like summarize? Yeah? Okay, so Jason just got back from India, and he went to India on a humanitarian trip, right?
That's right.
Right, okay. So Jason got up off of his couch. He said, God, take me on an adventure. And this is, so you've been to India before. So how many times have you been to India now?
I've been there twice now. Once in the end of 2014 and then now a week ago.
Sweet. So this is the second time. So he went one time. And tell me about how it happened that you went the first time to India.
Well, I mean, yeah, it was a couple years ago, but I believe a member at our church invited me, and yeah, I guess just to get up off my couch and exactly like you hit on that, or yeah, like that's exactly how it was. Just get up and do something, because yeah.
That's awesome. So, regular Joe, you guys probably see him here every week at the bunker. Regular Joe who said, I'm tired of sitting on the couch, and this is my chance. This is my chance. Someone said, hey, you want to do this? Instead of saying, I'm not sure if I'm cut out to do that, or I'm not sure if I'm righteous enough to do that, or I don't know if I have it all together to do that. He said, I'm going to do it. So tell me what you guys do in India, or what you did this last time.
This last time we went for 2 weeks, came back a week ago, and what we did, how do I summarize it here? First of all, we went to see a member at our church. He's from India, and his brother is a pastor in India.
Oh, cool.
And so we went to go and visit him, and he has a bunch of churches in different villages there that he's started, and I guess encourages other pastors in those villages to keep on growing and stuff like that. And we dug a well in one of the villages, actually. It's really awesome. And also it was about, I think, close to 250 bags of food that we prepared. Like,
wow.
Insane amount of the amount of rice is ridiculous. And yeah, then we handed them out on the streets afterwards to, I think, 4 different villages it was.
Nice.
Yeah.
Before he left, we kind of talked a little bit about what he'd be doing on the trip, and you mentioned something about zoning land. Did you guys do that as well, or?
Yeah, that's right, actually. We went to, how it worked is there was a piece of land that we bought, and we're going to be building a greenhouse on there. 1 acre greenhouse, and also 3 acres for, I believe, for rice and that kind of thing. For widows to come and work and to be employed, so that they have a job, because for a widow to find a job anywhere out there is very, very difficult. So.
And how come it's hard for widows to find work?
I guess because they're very outcast and almost, I think they are actually cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you walk on the same street, that's like, people don't even walk on the same streets as widows, because that's just what they believe. They don't want to be cursed.
Right.
Because of that, so.
So if you guys know anything about India, they still have the caste system. So widows would be the lowest of the low of the caste system. So even though their husband may have died working hard to provide for his family, or die of disease, they have children, no one wants to be associated with them. In India, the men are the ones who supply the income. So now imagine being a widow, having to supply food for children, and you can't even find work. So it's really awesome what you guys are doing out there, zoning land so that they can actually have a job. So you guys are they going to build the greenhouse then, or?
Yeah, like, it's still a work in progress. It's the amount of work that has to go into organizing anything out there is insane, because everything is very barbaric, I guess. And so, yeah, it's a work in progress. There's still some funds needed because of the, we were going to buy a different piece of land at first, and then, yeah, the way things work out there, the guy, as soon as we wanted to buy it, we had the money to buy the actual piece of land, and then he decided to double his price. So that was fun, and then we had to find another piece of land, because that was just, yeah. And so it was 1 acre less, but now we have 4 acres still with that price. And
Awesome.
yeah. So now that's looking up, and hopefully, yeah.
That's
work
really
out better.
cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. So what would you say, what's one thing that God really stirred up inside of you or got you thinking while you were on the trip?
One thing.
Anything.
I I guess Romans 6.
Oh, you got it there? Yep.
It's, yeah, the entire chapter, 23 verses, but it's,
Okay.
The power behind this chapter is incredible, and it's really put a whole nother perspective. It gave me a whole nother perspective. So, and also while I was out there, I got baptized. So that was
Nice.
really awesome.
Yeah! High five for that, brother. You got up and you followed him. Right? In the Bible, so many times it says, believe and be baptized, and people think it has to be this big extravagant thing.
And
So congratulations.
Thank you. That's kind of how it came about, actually. It's like, you know, all these things in my life, it's like I'm working on this, I'm working on that, and there's so much stuff that you're constantly working on to try to improve yourself, but I just found a point, there's never going to be a time when I'm perfect, when I'm ready to be baptized. I'm always going to have faults. I'm always going to make mistakes. There's never going to be a time when I'm actually ready.
Yep.
And so now's the time.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Congrats, man. Well, if you want to hear more about Jason's trip to India and what he did and things that God was working on in his life, he will be here throughout the evening. So seek him out and talk to him. Talk to him about his trip. Talk to him about how he got up off the couch and answered the call to follow me. And even more specifically, like answering the call, like get baptized, have faith that you don't have to be perfect to be baptized. All you need to do is have faith that I'm in control of your life, and that through me everything's possible. That's really awesome.
Believing is the key.
Believing is key. Awesome. Thanks so much, Jason.
All right.
And then, yeah, let's clap for Jason. That's great. Yeah, thanks. And Isaac is going to come up now and share a little bit. So some of you might have heard Isaac talk before. He talked about his mile one? Two. Sorry. Mile, I know this is the second mile. He's going the second mile. So he's in mile 2, which is a discipleship training school through Providence. And so through that, I mean, Isaac got up. I don't know if you're going to talk about this, how you got to mile 2. Not really?
Just a little.
So Isaac took a step of faith and said, God is calling me to more. God is calling me to enter a discipleship training because I want more of God. And I don't know what that looks like, but I want more. And so he said, I'm signing up and I'm doing it. And he fundraised his butt off. And he had all this support that poured in. And God said, yes, this is the right choice. Oh, sorry. And it brought him on amazing ventures. So let's listen to what Isaac... You can do that one.
This doesn't snap too much. Hi guys, it's good to be up here. I'm excited to talk to you guys. Oh, let's open this baby up. Since I'm in school, it teaches you how to do things properly or something like that, so I got some notes. So it's just kind of habit. I probably didn't need it. So, all right. So, like answering the calling, for God to work in your life. For myself, how that looked is up to in the past. Growing up in Winkler, you've probably heard the phrase that. Okay, sorry. I'll just explain. There's gonna be some pictures on the side here. Just some pictures that I took while I was in Israel. It's a really beautiful land. That's the Sea of Galilee. It's amazing. Sweet. All right. Growing up in a Winkler, you hear the phrase that my faith is, or you've heard the phrase maybe that my faith was my parents, which simply means that you only believe because your parents believe. And that's exactly what it was until God's been working my life, and then I answered the call in many smaller ways beforehand to see if what I believe is true. So in this past recently, I wanted to learn more to see what I believe is true, and so that what that was mile 2. So I heard about mile 2, and I was really pumped to go there. But I haven't been, alright? So what I do is I try to work my butt off and try to save as much as I possibly can. I'm sacrificing some stuff, and I just try to save. And then I'm still like $8,000 short. I'm not going on to this year. And somehow, I'm a sinner, and God still loves me, and He gave me around $8,000 so that I can go to school and learn more about Him to see if He's actually true. And I believe He's true. And like Ron's been saying so much truth this night. You guys, it's so good. It's such an adventure. It's great. Woo! And because God provided that around like $8,000 for me to go to school, I got to go to Israel, which are those pictures right there. And so I'll tell you a little about it. Now Israel is overwhelming, to say the least. You go there with an expectation, and it just got blown out of the water, and your mind is just blown. Oh, there's some toilets, like really old toilets. It'll come back. There's a link for that picture. You should look. So we went to a whole bunch of different sites while we were there, and like every day go to 3 different places around. And then so you just get so much information, you try to soak it all, and by near the end it's like information overload, you need to relax, but you just gotta keep going and just keep seeing sites, and it's so cool. And so one of the sites that we went to was Mount Carmel. And I don't know if you guys have heard about it. It's like a really, really big hill that Elijah did something really cool. And so I'm going to read the story in the Bible so that you guys can know. And so when we were up on this hill, one of the female leaders, she read this story as we were all standing there. And it was windy because we were up on the hill, and the wind was just like blowing all over the place. And I'm just trying to imagine this story, and I'm looking at the sky, and you see it's like, oh, it's so good just being there. I'm going to read it. It's going to be great. So Ahab sent to all people of Israel and gathered the prophets together at Mount Carmel. That's the place I was. And Elijah came near to all the people and said, how long will you go on limping between you 2 different opinions? If the Lord is God, follow Him, but if Baal, then follow him. And the people did not answer him a word. Then Elijah said to the people, even I only am left a prophet of the Lord, but Baal's prophets are 450 men. Let 2 bulls be given to us, and let them choose 1 bull for themselves, and cut it into pieces, lay it on the wood, and put no fire to it. And I will prepare the other bull, and lay it on the wood, and put no fire to it. So they're offering some sacrifices, which is completely normal for them to do so. Okay, and then you will call upon the name of your God, and I will call upon the name of the Lord. And the God who answers by fire, He is God. This is a pretty ballsy move because Elijah doesn't know if this is going to happen. But he's got faith, so that's great. That's all he needs. And then all the people answered, it is well spoken. We're going to do this. They believe that their God is going to do this. Then Elijah said to the prophets of Baal, choose for yourself 1 bull and prepare it first, for you are many, and call upon the name of your God, and put no fire to it. And so they took the bull that was given them, and they prepared it, and they called upon the name of Baal from morning until noon, saying, O Baal, answer us! But there was no voice, and no one answered. And they limped around the altar that they had made, and at noon Elijah mocked them, saying, cry louder, for he is a god. Either he is musing, or he is taking a piss, or he is on a journey, or perhaps he's sleeping, and must be awakened. And so they cried louder, and they started cutting themselves, which was their custom, with swords and lances until the blood gushed out upon them. So the blood is everywhere now at this point. And as midday passed, they raved until the time of the offering of the oblation. But there was still no voice, and no one answered. No one paid attention. Now this is where it gets real good. Elijah said to all the people, come near to me. And all the people came near him. And he repaired the altar of the Lord that had been thrown down. Elijah took 12 stones according to the number of the tribes of the sons of Jacob, to whom the word of the Lord came, saying, Israel shall be your name.
And with those stones he built an altar in the name of the Lord, and made a trench around the altar as great as would contain 2 seahs of seed. And that's supposed to be a lot of seeds. He put the wood in order and cut the wool in pieces and put it on top of the wood. And he said, fill 4 jars with water and pour it on the burnt offering and on the wood. And he said, do it a second time, and they did it a second time. And he said, do it a third time, and they did it a third time. And the water around the altar ran around the altar and filled the trench also with water. So this thing is just completely soaked. This guy's nuts. What is he thinking? This is not going to catch on fire. But then at that time of the offering of oblation, Elijah the prophet came near and said, O Lord God of Abraham, Isaac, and Israel, let it be known this day that you are God in Israel, and that I am your servant, and that I have done all these at your word. Answer me, O Lord. Answer me, that these people may know that you, O Lord, are God, and that you have turned their hearts back. And then, this is when I looked up to the sky. And then the fire of the Lord fell and consumed the burnt offering and the wood and the stones and the dust and licked up all the water that was in the trench. And then when all the people saw this, they fell on their faces in the Lord and said, the Lord, He is God, the Lord, He is God. And Elijah said to them, seize the prophets of Baal. This is crazy. What the heck? Fire fell from the sky and burned it up. It's crazy. Anyway, I was on that place, so that was really cool to read that in the moment and imagine that. It's like, it's so real. That is, like, throughout the time that we were in Israel, we were just reading scripture at different parts. And so now, whenever I read about a place, I mark it down. It's just, it's really, really cool. Really, really cool. Okay, next place. We went to Megiddo, which is known by most people as Armageddon, but it's called Megiddo. And so we got there, and what Megiddo is like, there was fortresses built, and then they get abandoned, dust gets blown over them, whatever. Fortresses are built on top of that. So it's just like huge. Now at this point, it's a higher point in elevation, because there's just so much stuff behind it. And there's really old walls, stone walls that are there right now. And when we were there, he was telling us about how important that Megiddo was on this hill. And on one side of the hill, on the hill, is a great valley that is really flat. Kind of like Manitoba, except very small. It's just like a valley. It's completely flat. And so it's like a really good, a really dangerous part if there's war. And since Megiddo was so crucial in the land, it kind of connects the upper part to the lower part. And so it's really good for controlling the land, to control the movement. And so it has been fought over many, many times. And I was just, while I was there, I was looking at the stones and just imagining how much bloodshed was over these stones that are so old. It's a lot of old stuff that you see, and then so you just try to imagine why is this significant? It's like there's been so much bloodshed for this, and trying to realize its importance, I guess. Really cool. The last really sweet thing that I'm going to share with you guys about, I got lots more, so please talk to me about it. When I was on the Mount of Beatitudes, the Mount of Beatitudes is where they think that Jesus said the Sermon on the Mount, which is like, blessed are the poor, blessed are the meek. You are the salt of the earth, you are the lamb, or you're the light, or something like that. And so, yeah, he says all of these amazing things to these people, and they found a spot where it's like a natural theater. That's the Mount of Beatitudes right there. That's the church that's on top of it. And this is from there until the Sea Valley, sorry. And that's the spot. Okay, you can stand right in that little cove and talk to everybody there, and everybody can hear you. Everyone can hear you properly, like even though you're talking to them, everybody can hear you. So they think that's our spot, and so it's just an idea, but whatever. I just when we were on their way over time to read the scripture, so I did so, and then I'm imagining, like, okay, God's probably spoken here. This is so amazing. I read past, and it says he got up from there and went over to Capernaum. It's like, all right, probably have to walk a few days, but then I look on the other side of the hill, and right, like 45 minutes away down the hill is Capernaum. Like, what the heck? He just got up and went there and started getting people there. This is great. Wow, everything's so close. And and this is great. So now I see everything way differently when I'm reading the Bible, and it's a really cool experience if you guys have the chance to with Israel. So everything is actually true. Probably, I believe it's true. And it's true what they say that the Bible is going to be turned into color as I've sort of described already. These places are real and close together, and it's sick. So one thing that I'm sort of going to take away from this trip to Israel is many things, but one of them is the way that I view different religions, and that is and that's changed for the better, because I think that I'm not so oblivious to other religions. I've heard quite a bit about my religion of Christianity, but I haven't really learned much about others. And one day when I was there at the hotel, I went down to the lobby and I was just sitting down there. Two men came and sat right by me in some near couches, and so I just sparked a conversation, started talking to them, see why they were in the land, the Holy Land of Israel. And they were two Muslim guys that were coming on a pilgrimage to see the place. And so I just wanted to talk to them and try to show God's love to them, because that's the best thing that I can do for them. And so through that, they started talking to me about their religion of Islam, and they just want me to know the truth. And so they're trying to tell me what they believe is the truth, and that's fair. And so I was listening to them, and I learned so much about what they see as the same as us, and we're not so completely different than I used to think that they are way off, but there's some connection points. So now when I have interactions with people with other beliefs than me, I'm going to be trying to see those common points and appreciate them, and maybe just have a good conversation with them. And so that's one thing that really changed. And it was cool to see when these guys were talking to me. One of them backed up and said, "Man, I'm worried for you, because what I believe is that because you're not Muslim as well, then you are not going to be going to heaven." And then someone like, "Oh, really? That's interesting, because I am worried for you because I care for you so much, and Jesus loves you, and the only way to get to heaven is through Him." So it's just it was weird, it was a mutual worrying for each other, but I really hope that I was able to show them God's love in our conversation, the way they responded and listened. But it was good. It was a really good time, and I definitely benefited from that. And it's just really cool how the Holy Land of Israel brings different people together, and it was a really special day.
So thanks for your patience, guys. I hope that this has been an encouraging evening for you guys to see that you can be an ordinary Joe, but all you need to do is have faith to get up and follow God. So whether you believe in God or not, if you don't believe in God, there's lots of us who would love to talk to you about it. If you decide that tonight's the night that you want to get up and you want to follow Jesus, we'd love to talk to you. Anybody with a Bunker staff shirt or a tag, or a Bunker staff shirt, come talk to us. I'll sit up here. Isaac will stay up here. If you want to come talk to us, you can. If you already believe in God and you call yourself a Christian, be encouraged. Talk to any one of us. Talk amongst each other. God bless you guys, and have a great evening.